Hello, and
Get with
it's
it,
fire.
and it's dope.
With Broadway.
We just
Make sure you go catch that interview though.
Okay. And we just had her bestie, Alexis Branch. Honey, get with it or get gone, honey.
Next, we're gonna bring on B.King.
Oh God, I want him to give me
Chasing Dallas. I'm excited about this one.
Is he here? He ready?
He's here. He's ready.
I know he gonna be beat to the motherfucking God. Excuse my language, y'all, but I had to say it exactly like.
He's here. He's ready. He's here. He's ready.
He's probably gonna be comfortable.
He's here. He's ready.
You're not listening to me.
I'm
not having a crisis.
But I'm excited.
It's B.King. Come on, ad button. Facebook, don't do me.
This is my new favorite show. It is, along with you.
No, I'm not talking about that. It's taking too long for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
So sorry. Okay. Look, I'm sorry.
Look, you can't give me trade. You better give me trade.
Hey.
Look, you better give me trade.
Right. Look, so I'm sorry I'm not beat to the MFing gods.
I'm sorry. Okay, I understand though. Trust me, I understand. But baby, when I tell you I get into every jizz you put the fuck on, hallelujah.
Well, amen.
Hey, man, hallelujah.
Look, before we get started,
go ahead.
Before we get started, just let everybody know who you are and let them know your social media.
Right.
Well, hey, everyone that is tuned in and that is watching. I am the infamous B.King of Dallas, Chasing Dallas, the face that cracks.
Okay.
All faces. You can catch me on Facebook at BJ B.King King, or on my professional Facebook page at B.King MUA. Or you can also catch me on Instagram at b.kingbeat. That's b.kingbeat.
Hello, you better spokesperson.
Okay.
Hello.
Problem.
Media traded. I ain't mad at you.
Yeah.
We are glad to have you. Go ahead, baby.
No, I wanted to tell y'all, first and foremost, I apologize for not having on any makeup. So I'm actually on my honeymoon.
Oh.
And yeah. So me and my husband got married 2 years ago, and we didn't take a honeymoon. So we said that we were going to take all that money and all that stuff, and we were going to save up and wait, and take our honeymoon. So I'm on my honeymoon, and we were out at Universal Studios today, and I tanned, as you can see, I tanned something horrible. And so makeup just was not in the plan for this face this evening. And we just rushed back because we were out shopping. So I apologize for not having on no makeup.
And because you probably gonna mess it up later anyway.
Wait, not from when you can give beat the way you give that face to trade
to Teddy Bear trade
and be able to bag them either way. You better work.
Well, okay, I accept that.
It's good. But congratulations on your marriage. Congratulations on your honeymoon.
Thank you.
And thank you, honestly, for taking the time out of this special moment to actually come on with us. That is really, really dope. Like, for real.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys.
I want you to get off of this live and go hunch. It's your honeymoon.
Look, child, we've been hunching all week. It's all right.
Look. This stuff, this exposure, and your TV show, and all of this was making the honeymoon last better, right? I bet.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say it has anything to do with it because this union was strong before then.
Well, not the union. I'm talking about all these checks.
Well, no. The checks come from me anyway.
Hello?
But the exposure, which I'm very, very grateful for, that does come from the show. Yes.
I know that's right. So let's get into it. So yes, before we get into B.King, let's go before that, and let's get into how you was like, okay, makeup is what I want to do, and B.King is who I want to be. When did that happen?
So, funny thing is that way back when, I actually used to do drag. I did drag for a very long time. I actually started doing drag when I was about 14, 15 years old. I know that's extremely young, but growing up in Arkansas, that was just the thing to do. I wanted to be that glamorous girl. I wanted to be that who is this type of chick. Because as a child, that wasn't me. I was always the fat, chunky kid. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to be that girl that's just like, okay, bitch, who is she? How can I be her in all of this? So that's kind of like the start of B.King, me doing drag. Stepping out of that, I learned who I was while doing drag. I know that sounds real crazy, but drag actually taught me to be who I am first and foremost, before I step in front of anybody else. So that's just kind of like the start of that. I did that again for several thousand years. I won't tell my age, but I did that for quite a while. Until I got to the point to where it was just like, I don't need the facade of drag to be who I am. And that's not everybody's case, right? But for me, that's what it was. And I didn't need the facade of drag to be who I was. And I knew that I could step outside of drag and be Brendan, you know what I'm saying, being who I am and still being in a full face of makeup and still just be that boy that I wanted to be. So that was really the creation of B.King. And to go with that, a lot of people think B.King is just like a person that I created, when in actuality, like, that's actually my name. Like, my legal name, it is, well, my initials are B.B. King. So it's just, I mean, it's really me stepping outside of myself and branding who I am.
I know that's right.
I live for that.
Let me tell you something. Yeah. People that we tend to have on the show really has some depth to their mindset, and that's just what I love, because we tend to have a show that always, you know, we're not only having fun, but we actually educating. You know, we're educating a lot of people, and you know, because there's another person out here watching that's following in your footsteps. You know what I'm saying? So it's great that we can have this conversation.
So while we're in that mellow, I want to go back to something you said. You was like, being a drag queen helped you discover who you really are. Can you go a little bit deeper in that, how you really felt like doing that?
Well, I felt like, again, like I said, I was always like the chunky kid who didn't get the attention. You know, I got the, oh my God, he's so cute and he's chunky. And so once I started doing drag and I could step outside of Brendan and become this person that I thought was the most luxurious and glamorous person, like, it just showed me that, like, you know, there's a deeper you that's not on the outside. You know what I mean? There's something that's deeper that's in you. And throughout my years of doing drag, like, it just pulled that out. You know, the more I hit the stage, the more I greeted my fans and followers and, you know, supporters, the more the actual person that was inside of all of the makeup and the gowns really came forth. And so once that person stepped up and said, hey girl, I'm here, you don't need all that other stuff. That's when I was like, okay, now I have arrived. Not I have arrived for the world, but I have arrived for me. And I was able to look into the mirror and say, that's who's been trying to get out. That's who's been knocking at your door for the
world. Let them know.
Okay.
You better let somebody know. Somebody's listening to this. No, for real. Somebody's listening to this and you touching somebody.
That's why I had to get
somebody.
It has been a journey. You know, I know a lot of people have the glitz and the glam behind their name and behind their fame. I don't have that luxury, you know, and I have fought to get to where I am every step of the way, you know, and a lot of that fight, no shade, has been within myself, which a lot of us have that issue. And so I'm happy to be where I am and to be
Look, I don't know if it's that Swizzler or what, but it's good. It's doing something. Look.
Yes. Let me tell you, these Twizzlers are life, honey.
Look, but you can't have one. I know that you can't.
You can't have one.
It's impossible. It's impossible to have one.
Y'all be kidding my damn nerves. But like, I scrunch so much, I feel like I might need to reshift my wig. Like, I can't get my
So we leave drag, right?
Yeah,
we leave drag and we get into makeup solely, whatever. So what has that transition? Was it harder to transition into just makeup? Did your clientele increase because of who your drag, you know, personnel was? Did it decrease after you left drag? What was that feeling?
Honestly, I would have to say that it did decrease just a little bit. And the reason I say that is because people, human beings, we get so caught up in what we're used to. So people was used to seeing Sasha, you know, they were used to that. And when I stepped outside of that and said, okay, well, this is who I am, people they weren't comfortable with that because they were so used and complacent with seeing an older person. So my clientele did drop for a while. But then when I started to, again, really step into who I was, it was like, okay, well, if you didn't ride with me now, then when you rode with me, it wasn't necessary.
Hello?
You know, it just wasn't necessary.
So you just built a new clientele.
Okay.
I had to.
I know
and it is, look, and I will tell you, it is even harder now, and I didn't think so for a while, but it is even harder now being a man with a full beard, wearing makeup, than it was when I was a drag queen. It is so much harder. But it's worth it.
We can relate. You know, we can relate. I can't relate, but I relate through my brother.
I just feel I feel so empowered walking out nowadays. Like I can't feel no other way because this is my true self. Whether I wear makeup one day, a wig the next day, my hair in ponytails this day, eyelashes, whatever. I'm doing what I want to do. So I commend, like, to hear you say that, like he said, you touching somebody, it's one right here. Like, so I commend you. Thank you so much. Like,
no, I appreciate you.
Doing too much.
So where would you say was your peak to where B.King was like, boom? Go ahead.
Okay.
Hello.
For me, I think it was so about 2014. Me and my partner, he's now my husband, but at the time he was just my boyfriend. He asked me to move to St. Louis, Missouri with him, and we did. You know, I stepped out on a limb, and I was just like, well, I ain't doing shit else. You know, we moved to St. Louis, Missouri, and from there. It was a lot of highs and lows. It was a lot of, you know, trials and tribulations. But through that, I was blessed with not my first cosmetic job, but one of my very first like industry jobs. And from that, my brand really took off. So living in St. Louis for 3 years, babe. 3 years we lived in St. Louis, and my name really, really blew up, like to the point to where I was doing St. Louis fashion weeks, and I was working on, you know, a few of the celebrities that would come in town, and like I was always being booked, like no matter what, I was always being asked to come do fashion shows and different things like that. So it was at that moment I was like, okay, like I've always loved doing makeup, I've always loved speaking to people, I've always loved, you know, just being the front and center, you know, guy or whatever. Now I'm going to take this platform and I'm going to run with it. And from that day forward, like I ran with it. Funny thing is that during that time, like I said, my life went through a few, you know, topsy-turvies, you know what I mean? Before my mom died during that time, and she told me before she died, she said, I love you. She said, no matter what, she said, never stop being who you are, and your name will be in light. She said, America will know who you are before you leave this earth. And it is so funny how things have happened since then, because that has been happening, and those things have been coming into fruition. So it was during the St. Louis, Missouri times, where B.King, the brand, was built. Like it really had a foundation.
Let me tell you something. Not off topic, but sidebar.
Go ahead, get it out.
Like, no, seriously, like, you know, we watch these shows. You know what I'm saying? We get into the Instagrams. We get into the you know, the socialite of the characters. You know, and you know, I didn't have a bad content of you. But when watching, you don't realize the depth in somebody's, not only mind, but in their heart. And honestly, like, you really talking right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
don't it just feel like a hug coming through the
No, like, for real, like you're really talking right now. And you're preaching some knowledge right now. And I really hope that, you know, our viewers, you know, are listening and paying attention because you're spitting some facts right now. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you in all that you do. I really want to say that. That's just a sidebar, real quick.
Let me add on to the sidebar. It's even doper that you already sharing yourself on the web series, and to come here and you just get deeper. Like you somebody that continues to share themselves, you need to listen. There's a reason behind it because it's hard to be that open. So we definitely appreciate you coming tonight. Thank you so much.
No problem. I thank y'all for having me.
Of course. So, you know, you touched on, you know, the platform, and you're going to take it and run with it. So let's get into the platform. So right before you got the call, what was that moment? Like, what was that? What were you doing? What do you think you were doing that made notice? Why B.King in Dallas versus whoever that, because I'm sure there's other makeup artists.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you feel was your, why they called you?
Well, I have two different scenarios of it. What I thought was just because, Reese had just kind of scanned me through on Instagram, and was just like, okay, he's pretty cute, he's pretty dope or whatever, I'm going to get him to be on the show. But what I know to be true is that he actually got my contact information through one of the other guys that's on the show, Tony Price. Now, why Tony actually gave him my info and all that, and he wanted to be on the show, I don't know, and I can't speak on that, right? Because I wasn't there. But what I will say is that I'm just appreciative that he did give my information. Not only one, because I had just moved to Dallas. There are thousands of gay men in Dallas that do makeup, but I was one of the only few who was actually like doing live videos, who was actually teaching makeup, walking people through the process. I'm in the process of creating my own makeup line, things like that. I was actually offering jobs to other male makeup artists that were in the city who didn't have that platform. So I think, for me, just looking in on the situation, that I was chosen because I was actually doing something. And not just doing something for myself, but I was also showcasing myself for other people. I was getting other people jobs, and I was sending them customers and clients, and I'm saying, all these other things. So it wasn't just for myself. I think I was chosen because, he's seen the community service in my heart, and in my talent.
You was the all the way around, the community, entertainment, professional, you had that whole. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's like this the whole time you're talking. When you got to sit like this.
Mama raised a good one. You got the ugly face when you're listening.
That's the old church fact.
I don't want you know me. I can't. I don't want to interrupt that because I'm all into the makeup. I want to see what the product that he was giving the Buddha smell. I want to get into all of that. So you get all that. The deep stuff, and then we can go play later. Go ahead.
Well, I want to get into the show.
Go forward.
So Chasing Dallas, right? Mm-hmm. I need to know, the viewers want to know, after episode 1, the face that cracks off face, what is it from recording to then watching?
Right. How you feel?
And now how you feel?
I definitely felt a lot of shade. Not necessarily from myself, but from others. Like I knew, what I had said while I was filming, and that's what was portrayed. So I don't have any hiccups or hangups about any of that. I definitely felt like there was a lot of shade being thrown my way that I didn't know was being thrown my way. And so that was very surprising for me. But rewatching the episodes, it's definitely a taken aback, like, okay, well, all right then, bitch. It's really one of those, because who I am off camera is who I am on camera. So I'm not putting on a facade for anybody, and what I say is what I mean,
Hello, I know that's right.
So you say you felt a little shade. Now, to me, do you feel like there's TV shade and there's real shade? What type of shade do you feel like you was getting? If you get what I'm saying.
At first, it was more so like TV shade, but then as the episodes, kept rolling, things got a little deeper. And it seemed like there was some undercover issues that somebody had with me versus me having with them. And I just wish that if that was the case, like, girl, you should have told me that from the beginning.
So let's speak on it. So if I remember correctly, we're talking about the person who gave your name, right?
You said who did what?
The person who gave your name initially for the show is who we're stating, right? Right, we're talking about.
Correct.
So, we're talking about Tony Price. Shout out to Tony Price. We had his interview as well. And we tend not to be biased on this show. We like everybody. And everyone's cool, whatever the case may be. But we're talking about Tony Price. what is that? So you already just stated that, he initiated, giving your information to get you on the show. Do you think was it just to stir up the drama, or do you think it was?
I mean, one could assume, and I could assume, but I don't know, and I don't want to sit here and make an ass of myself for assuming. But it seems that way. Let me say that it seems that way. But I can't assume because I don't want to make an ass out of myself.
And again, but my thing is,
you about to say it. Go ahead.
Right. My thing is, and this is no shade to nobody. We don't like to bash nobody. This is a supporting show. But my thing is, why? Okay, he he gave your information to get you on the show. Yet you're a main cast member and he's a subcast member. Why do you think that happened to where? Because I know my stuff. I know my stuff.
I didn't know that.
So he's a sub, you know what I mean? He's not, you know what I mean? So with that being said, with the shade being thrown, you think that's where it's coming from? The fact that maybe.
Well, you know what? I would probably say I'll probably have to say yes, because I too have seen a few interviews where it was Reese and Tony, and it seems as though there had been some beef between them about if he was going to be on A cast or he was going to be on B cast, and it was just like a whole bunch of behind the scenes shade with them. So it seems as though that is where it seems like that's where it's coming from, but that ain't got nothing to do with me.
Right, which is
because when I had my interview, I was an A cast member from the beginning.
Hello.
I was on record. I did not do none of this research. Thank you.
It's not research. It's what it is. I know. I watch the show. I know really in depth of what's going on and stuff like that. So you watching it back, was that the same experience that you felt there, having this debacle?
Yeah.
Let's say with Tony. Or did you watch it back? Because I know the confessionals is done afterwards.
Right. No. Yes and no. Yes and no. Because having the encounter with the young man, I was actually thrown back. Right. It was a big ass surprise to me. So like being real, it was a big ass surprise to me. I'm one of those people, I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm saying, and and in any situation, I know what I'm walking myself into. When that particular situation, I didn't know what I was walking myself into, and so it was like a slap in my face. So I don't know if y'all can see it on camera, but I was overly heated, just because I had just worked almost a 24-hour work shift and then came to the event. So it was way more than that behind the scenes, and it had really, really pissed me off and took me to my Detroit Haitian roots.
Hello.
I'll try not to bring out.
Hello.
So yeah, it's definitely been interesting.
Well, you were just trying to.
Well, I mean, I like to try to ask the questions that the viewers, because I'm a viewer. I don't just do it for research because I watch the show genuinely. And I know, and I've been watching reality TV for a very long time, so this is my area of expertise.
Right.
Basically, you know what I'm saying? So what is it? Okay, so you just moved to Dallas, so you don't know everybody and your cast members prior.
Correct.
So what is, and don't speak on future shows, but from episode 1 to 3, who you encounter with and what has happened, has anything, are you happy with everybody, or is it just Tony Price that you have this issue with so far?
So far, honestly, from my standpoint, Tony is the only person that I've had an issue with. I personally have not had an issue with anybody else. Now, if they have an issue with me, then that's another story. And it seems like that is a going thing. For somebody to have an issue with me and me not have an issue with them, how that works out, I don't understand and I don't know. Please, somebody tell me. But Tony is the only person that I've had an issue with. And honestly, I wouldn't even call it an issue. I call it a misunderstanding and behind the scenes shade, to be honest.
Right. So if you can say, are you guys okay now?
I think he still has more of the issue with me than what I have with him.
Mm.
Like real deal. I think he still has the issue with me and me not have one with him. Because I think the whole debacle of the situation is him saying me ruining his name and his brand. But girl, how? Like, let's roll the tapes back. How? What have I said to ruin your brand? What have I said negatively about you or your brand? Like nothing. I would love to see the tape if I have.
Hello, I know that's right.
Okay.
Look, I want to get off.
Maybe that's a conversation that needs to be
had. Exactly.
Because I don't.
It's a conversation that's going to be had, and we haven't seen it yet.
B.King.
So I want everybody viewing to please make sure you are sharing this video, liking and sharing. And I just want to state that we have a word of the day because we just been using it all day. Hashtag debacle.
Debacle.
That part.
Yeah, you feel me? Like, let's just hashtag debacle, girl. Hashtag of the day.
Well, let me
look, and we got to put the meaning down at the bottom. We got to pin the meaning because not a lot of the girls know meaning.
Out there, go ahead and Google that and get the right.
Yeah, let's get the Google
right definition
of that.
Okay. Now, B.King, I just want to break up the debacle.
yeah.
The monotony, because it got real deep for a second. We don't try to go all the way into that depth. But
the Royal Couch.
And don't take this as a stereotype, baby. I'm from Georgia. But you throw us down in the kitchen, huh?
Do. Look, my husband is 6'7". Over 250. Oh, baby, you have no idea. I'm Haitian and I'm Southern.
Hello. So going into
now West Indian.
Okay. Hello. So going into you cook for your man and all that. How does that work out with you being on the show and now you got your husband? You got this little piece of drama over here. You're working hard over here, and then you got to come home to your husband. How does that work for you?
Well, I do have a 9 to 5. A lot of people won't admit that they have a 9 to 5, but I have a. Are we losing me? I have a.
No. We see you. Oh, we don't now.
Why is always my question? Do I ask the stupid ones?
That was a good question. Guys, let's see if we can get set up.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay, we back. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Okay, so like I was saying, a lot of girls don't want to admit that they have a 9 to 5, and I love them. I love my 9 to 5, and will continue to work that until I succeed in my dreams. But working that, my husband is super supportive, and whatever it is I choose to do, he's right there to back me up no matter what. But I just know how to navigate between working a full time, filming when I can, and then chasing my personal dreams. Because no shade, those latter two, the taking care of my husband and chasing my dreams will always come first.
Okay.
Always. The show to me, it's a great platform, but that will always be last, and I'm sorry. Because, the show can't fuck finance or, give me Coach and Prada and Gucci bags.
I know that's right.
I'm slave.
It does. It works. It really, really works.
Yeah, baby, that's pretty for me.
That's you know what? It's inspiring because I have a relationship in the industry, and it sometimes I think like, okay, going longevity when we both are blowing up and we both are at the same time. Is that going to be? I apologize, but Gardini, we're gonna have you as soon as we get off with him. We are excited to have Gardini next.
Hey, Gardini.
We'll be having Gardini next, just a little bit. But I'm in a relationship in the industry, and he's a rapper, and I do this as well. So with us, both our platforms growing, it kind of makes me nervous a little bit of the success of it. Because sometimes you fall in love with the success more than your life and what's going on in your personal life. And, it's inspiring to know that, there's people out here that's doing it and actually making it. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for that.
You know what? But you know what? To continue with that real fast, I think the issue when it comes to relationships and marriages is that people try to merge their dreams into their relationship, and that's something you can't do. And when you have a relationship, you still have to be you. You know, you still have your own personal individual goals and dreams and aspirations, you know, to get to. So one thing that me and my husband, we try our best to do is to continue to be open and honest with each other. Like he knows what my dreams are. I know what his dreams are. Just because we ain't working them together don't mean that we can't achieve those dreams. You work your dream, I work my dream, and let's meet in the middle with our love. You know, because he's definitely doing his thing when it comes to, you know, his career, and I'm doing my thing, but that doesn't stop us from helping each other and still making our way. We on look, we in two separate cars in the same lane, heading to the same direction.
Look, you
come on through.
You better be adding pastor to your resume. Hello.
You know, look, inspirational speaker right on the bottom.
Ayana, move over. Look. Hello.
That
got a new sheriff in the town.
I'm not a puppy.
Look, so thank you so much. I
hate when you do that. You have a whole relationship conversation and then just drop the whole combo. And you like you're the only one. Like, it kills me. That's all right. I'm single with puppy, and I like it. We live real lavish.
No, I hate to end this, but I do want to get Gardini on.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining our platform.
Sweet.
Thank you so much for shedding the knowledge that you shed. Like, honestly, when people watch this back, they are going to learn some great information. Like, for real, they're going to be educated.
I really hope so.
I'm glad that, you know, there's a lot of ratchetness out there, and I'm glad that we can kind of be that piece of you know, fresh air. You know, just that piece of fresh air, just where we can talk about some good stuff. You know, our community is always in the negative light. Mm-hmm. You know, so for us to talk about what we're doing and successful relationships and successful in our careers.
Why he on his honeymoon right now?
You know, that's a beautiful thing. Even being on something that's will be considered a ratchet TV. I don't see it as ratchet TV at all because you guys are working hard. You guys are actually, you know, working like you said. You got a 9 to 5. You actually making something. So thank you again for being humble, and actually making a platform so we can see that and be inspired by that.
Right, and since you saw some of the products you just got, I seen on TV. Don't tell me you ain't got them because I seen the box and you told your husband he could smell them. I seen it.
No, let me tell you, my products will be launching very soon. They are in the making. As you can see, you know, I'm not one of them girls to say I'm gonna make something and I'll never make it. Mine are actually in fruition. They will be coming out very, very soon. I'm dropping a skincare line extremely soon, which will be a 4-step process. It works for anybody. If you can see this skin of mine, it does wonders. So be looking out for that. And I thank you guys so very much for allowing me to come onto your platform to shed some light on the world and shining some light on who I am as a person. I thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Thank you. Stay humble, stay beautiful, and keep succeeding, keep inspiring.
And keep taking faces.
Look, we're going to be looking forward to seeing you on Chasing Dallas. Make sure y'all all go subscribe. Make sure y'all all go watch. And congratulations on over the 100,000 1K, right?
Yes. Look, the children are tuning in and they are reading.
Okay. And congratulations to this honeymoon. Like, thank you.
Thank you.
That's just everything. Oh my God!
Thank you. Look,
boy, husband.
Hey.
Look, 6 years down, 2 years married, baby. We in this thing.
I know.
Hey, yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you guys later.
Most definitely.
That was beautiful.
I want to be on my honeymoon doing interviews. Multiple bags that I have.
Multiple bags.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Gardini dolls.
We got the Gardini. Rick Rosa, like.
I hope we got on the Komodo.
Look, we need to be we the brand ambassadors of Dig the Kicks. You feel me?